Beyond the classroom, we rise and soar.
Welcome back, everybody. It is BTC. I am your host, Naris Ballard, and this is Beyond the Classroom podcast. So, today's topic is the real impact of today's school system. So, today's guest is a college graduate, an entrepreneur, an author, a wife, and an all around amazing person. Okay? Please welcome Miss Hardaway.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
I am good. I'm good. Very blessed. Went to church today. I got a
Oh,
little word in, cried a little bit, shouted a
oh,
little bit. But other than that, I am very blessed today.
that is amazing. I am as well.
That's good. That's good. So, Miss Hardaway,
Yes.
I was just thinking about um well, I graduated from high school, and I was just thinking about a lot has changed ever since back then, like in the 2000, like 2022, um, which is 2025. But I feel like a lot has changed, and I feel like some things should be remodeled, like the water fountains. Back then, when I was in school, you only use water fountains that you use with your mouth. But I feel like they should upgrade it to water bottles now, which actually has happened. Um, when I was in school, they actually had these little water bottle, I guess water fountains where instead of just using your mouth or just pour it in there, you could just put your water bottle in there and just press the button and it'll do it for you. So I thought it was really neat, but I know every school doesn't have that. So that comes
Right.
with my first question. If you could redesign one part of the school day to make it more beneficial, what would you do and why?
If I would redesign one part of school day, it will probably be the time to go to school and to get out of school. I would definitely hit the time frame. So last I checked, for some schools, you would go to school around 7 in the morning to about 3 or 4 in the evening. Yes, I would definitely cut that out. So I would probably go to school around 10 o'clock in the morning to maybe 2, and that's pushing it. And maybe do school 3 or 4 days a week. Let's just say 3 days a week. Now, that's just speaking from my high school days when I couldn't stand school. I know the
Yeah.
benefit of school now. I mean, I knew it then, but nobody cared. We didn't like school. But now, I would definitely change that. 10 to 2, 3 days a week. Let's just say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I could be at home or doing something else that's more beneficial of my time Mondays and Fridays. So yeah, I would definitely hit that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's tons of it. In school, yeah, we all was talking about some why are we doing 5 days a week and doing like 8 hours of school? Some people thought it was just to prepare us for a job because that's like the normal time you do for a job, 8 hours,
Right.
5 days a week, get 2 days off. Kinda like preparing you for like a real job, but yeah, if I had the choice to, yeah, I probably did yeah, 10 to 2 and probably like 3 days, 4 days probably instead of doing 5 days and have like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
weekends
if
off.
you think about it that way, since you said it's preparing you for having a job, I would actually agree with you. I don't know if that was the full intent for whatever smart person decided to have children in school 5 days a week
Uh-huh.
for 8 hours or more a day. I don't know what smart creature decided to do that. But once you get out of school and you are working more than part-time hours, that is basically how it's going. Most schedules at work is like 9 to 5, or 7 to 3. You put in 8 to 9 hours depending on where you're working. And you are now used to that coming out of school. So by the time most children or individuals get out of school, they don't want to go do anything else, let alone go back to school or even get a job out here nowadays because the schedule is crazy. I even have a problem with the schedule. Why we got to go to work 5 days a week?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
But I can definitely see
I
your
don't really
point.
have a problem with doing 5 days.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it though.
that's not bad. Back then, I did. I would go home and look at my mom. I'm like, why y'all doing this to me? Like, why we gotta go to school all day? Half of these teachers don't like us. So I'm like, why are we
Right.
in here? And
Right.
my mom be
Yeah,
like, well, you have to get your education. You have to learn how to read. You need to learn how to count on more than just your fingers. And I was like, okay, I understand that part. But the rest of it, why we here? My favorite time of school was lunch. Because I get a chance to eat and get
right.
away from everybody else.
Right. Right. Especially for the people that don't really like people like that. They either try to get away from home. That's why the reason they come to school. Or to socialize, probably if the parents don't
Yeah,
want them going nowhere but school.
definitely.
That's like the only reasons I could think about.
For sure.
That's like, mm.
Welcome to Kids Learning Adventures, where learning is fun and every day is a journey. From ABCs to 1, 2, 3s, animals to outer space, we make learning awesome. Parents love it, kids can't get enough. Hit that play button and join the adventures today.
But it comes to my next one for you. So,
Okay.
what's one thing you learned in school that actually helps you in the everyday life? I'm kind of curious.
Well, one thing is going back to what you were saying was the time frame, being in school for 8 hours. It equipped me to just transition to going to work for 8 hours. But secondly, I would definitely say reading and writing because it is needed. It's most definitely needed. But the more you are out here and you have to talk to other people, you have to know how to speak to people. You have to know how to read more than just the basics of things so that you can better communicate with, let's say, the staff, your employees, your boss, or whomever that is. And as well as writing and counting. So I work in accounting / accounts payable. So there is a lot of math, a whole lot of math. I look at numbers. I can do that on a daily basis. Yeah, it's annoying. It's definitely repetitive, but it's needed. What I didn't understand was going to be needed was geometry, calculus, all those type of things. I'm like, why we need this? Who decided that this math was going to be needed? Okay. So, but it does have its place, especially when you're going to calculate certain calculations for construction or just going more in depth with your finances or like the scientists calculating measurements and things of that nature. So it's needed. It won't be needed for everybody or beneficial for everybody depending on the field they go into, but it definitely has its place. So I would definitely say the time frame, reading, counting, and writing for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely, most for sure. I think one thing that I learned in school that helps me in the everyday life is dealing with people. I feel like
Ooh,
that's. I feel like I don't know the whole part of school in general. You go to school 5 days a week, 8 hours. You gonna deal with people that don't like you. You're gonna deal with people that do like you. I feel like now that I'm in kind of like the young adult world now that I got into the world, the working world now, it's kind of like school just a little bit because some people be a little immature. Some people be
true.
like that in school. Same way we in work too. So it's like this school really prepared me for this, which I kind of could see, kind of did a little bit. You gotta know
Yes.
when to say something, when not to say something to people, just ignore them. I feel like that's something that I learned in the everyday life now from school.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely. That's big time. You are right on point with that one. I mean, there are so many personalities out here. And they are
A whole
starting from school because school is starting at the young ages. So you are learning how to be around other people. It was early as 3 and you will not get along with everyone. It's just not going to happen. Someone will not like you, or you will not like them. But learning how to control your emotions, how to speak and verbalize how you feel, will take you a long way, especially if you're really paying attention in school. So by the time you get out here in the world, you know how to deal with all type of people and all type of personalities. Some good, some bad, some is a little sketchy. But you know how to handle yourself properly. Now, I don't think they are teaching how to handle your emotions in school. They should be a class on it or something of the sort. So there won't be so many young adults coming out of school with misinterpretations of what they can do and can't do based on their own feelings, which can lead them to problems as an adult or a young adult. So that was a very valid point. I like that. Good job on that one.
Thank you, thank you. Had to
You're
think real
welcome.
hard on that one. I was thinking about it. Had to think real hard with that with my big brain. I had to.
There it is, your big brain, honey. Use it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but speaking of the school and everything, now that I think about it, do you think homework is necessary for learning or is just like extra work?
I think it's a little of both. So let me explain before people start coming in the comments. You was crazy. Let me explain. So homework is helpful in retaining information that you learned in school or helping you better understand the information. It's good in that aspect. Now, the other aspect, when it's just extra work, I would say two ways from that one. It can be extra work as far as an extra grade. You want to pull up your grades and need those extra points. That's great. But on the other end of it being extra work, the teachers can provide too much homework, and assuming that you have that type of time after you get out of school to get home, get settled. I'm sure the child or teenager has chores, the things they have to do with the household or extracurricular activities outside of school. So when multiple teachers or one teacher is issuing so much homework, it can become too much and unbeneficial because let's just be real. What if they can't get to it? Now they can't turn the homework in. Now their grades are dropping. Now we have a possibility of failing a grade. That can be a problem. So in that way, I would definitely say that might be unbeneficial. But if it's done properly and in a moderate way where it's just enough work to help them retain information, then that would be beneficial and not overdone. I think that's the problem that's going on now. It's just too much. And now children are not bringing homework home. They are probably completing school amongst each other as a group, which is not bad. And then by the time they get home, they can have their free time if they have free time. So I guess there's two or three ways of looking at that.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, now that you brought that up, at first I was gonna be like, I think it is necessary to have homework, but now that you brought that up, it kind of is like two ways, three ways to think about. I guess it depends on the person's mindset and perspective on it.
Or the
Um,
teacher, and the
yeah,
student.
or the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, I feel like homework is necessary, but also it can be extra work because it has been times where, everybody doesn't want to do homework. I mean, some people
Not
don't,
at
some
all.
people do, but yeah, I know I was one of the people. I didn't want to do homework, but I had to get it done because homework helps. It helps you learn a little bit better. Like, say you had a problem in class, you weren't really understanding. Sometimes the teacher can't really help you with that topic if you don't understand it. So you go home, you do it, and you ask your family, like your parents, your mom and dad, about it, which is something I did because I didn't really understand in class. So I had to do it at home, ask my mom
Right.
about it, and she explained it a different way. But the extra work, yeah, extra credit, like you had said, it could be extra credit or it could just be a little bit too much to put on the students, even though they have other things just like the teachers do. and it might be a little bit too much that they can't finish it all, and
Mm-hmm.
then next day it's due, and then now the teacher's like, oh, that's the F because you didn't finish it. It's plenty of times where they have done it in school where you didn't finish it and they counted that off, and you got like a low grade for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and it can go that way very fast, especially, in high school. You are passing classes. You now have multiple individual classes, and each class will offer a certain amount of work depending on the teacher and where the learning material is needed. So it can get very overwhelming and it can feel like a burden. Like, why we have this much homework? I'm only one person. I'm in school for 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. And then I only have a certain amount of hours after school to get everything completed. And that does not include housework. So it can be a problem. I would think that maybe they need to come up with another resolution for that. You know, let's say if you have 7 classes and the teachers get together and say, well, I'm going to give these 3 classes some homework. So the other 4 might say, okay, we'll alternate the homework so it's not so much on each child. So that way it can be better managed because a lot of the children have to learn time management, but it's only so much time in a day and you have to sleep a certain amount of hours. So if they can come up with some type of resolution in that way, it might help to decrease on all the extra tension when it comes to homework and can decrease the possibility of more children failing classes. And that way more children can have the opportunity to get a better understanding of the work, especially if they are not understanding the work at school and they have to come home and they're asking their mom and dads about how you do this. And now y'all have changed the work so much nowadays that the parents don't know how to do it. So like this is the
Right.
problem. It's like a crazy hamster wheel of too much of everything when it comes to education nowadays, but not enough as far as training the parents on how to understand this information. If they're not already in school learning what the children are learning, and then by the time they are bringing this homework home, it's just a no-go. It's like, what are we doing? So that could
Right.
be a helping hand if maybe something of the sort was to come in effect like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Now that I think about it, students that actually should vote in schools saying like about the problems, which is actually crazy. Because my next question: if
Okay.
students could vote on school policies, what's one rule you think they'll change immediately, like quick?
Immediately, no
Mm-hmm.
homework. It should be
Ah,
and
yeah,
no
yeah.
homework,
Tell me about. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, if they come down to it, no school, depending on who you're talking
Right.
to.
Right.
I mean, that can go
Oh yeah.
so many ways, but most children or teenagers do not like homework, and half of them, or the bulk of them, do not like to be in school. But I know the structure is needed. They need to learn how to do certain things, but I think that probably would be the number one vote, maybe, or at least the top 3. No homework. But now we can't be going around here and we got a bunch of children that can't comprehend, read, and write, and raising some little young underachievers. So that can go hand to hand, but I think that would be something because I couldn't stand homework. I mean, couldn't stand it. I wouldn't even bring it home. I dodged my
Mm-hmm.
homework like it was a plague. It would not leave my lockers. My mom always said, where's your homework? I don't see you coming home with books and papers. Where is at school? It's in my lockers. I
Oh,
already did it. I don't
right,
want to
right.
do
So
it.
I already finished it. I already finished in
Right.
school. There's no point to bring it home because I want to do what I gotta do. Like I had extra curricular activities. I was doing ballet. I was doing some stuff. Yeah, ballet was most of the thing, but that took up most of my time. So doing homework, either I had to do it before, which was kind of hard because I had it. I had classes like at 4:45, and I got out of
Hmm.
school at 3:25, which was kind of late. So yeah, I'll do it after ballet, but I already be tired, want to take my bath, a shower, and want to go to sleep. But no, I have to do the homework, so sometimes I forget, and then I gotta wake up. I guess I wake up in the middle of the night and do it then, or in the morning, get up real early, then do it if it's due that day. But they don't really do it like that. They kind of like make it. towards like the end of the week, like on a Friday. But that, yeah, staying up at nighttime, yeah, all that. I would say that too. Homework out, school, yeah, out.
I
I can't think of
know.
nothing else though. I can't think
Yeah,
of anything else. Those are the only two.
because even once you graduate, and let's say you do decide to go to college, it gets worse. Like the load for homework gets worse. It's heavy. And the teachers or professors don't care. They're like, this is what needs to be done. Find a way to get it done. And you need to pass the class and everything else in the mix. So it's like, it doesn't slow down depending on what you want to do. And that's when time management comes into play. You have to find a way to get things done in a fairly amount of time, but spaced out so you can also allow yourself some rest time to decompress because it is a lot of work, you know. But it it just depends. It's definitely a load that I do not miss, and I don't miss it at all.
But yeah, I don't miss it at all too. But kind of now it's like you kind of have your own homework because of certain things you do in your life, like whatever job or whatever extracurricular. You always got to do some type of homework. I mean, you wouldn't really call it homework, but you kind of would because you're doing it by yourself and you're doing it for you to, I
Right.
guess, get better. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's still
same way
homework.
with me. Ballet, yeah, ballet. We have to practice at home. We gotta stretch all the other stuff. It's kind of like homework because you want to get better. You gotta stretch. You gotta practice, and yeah, it's kind of like your own little homework. Now that I think about it.
Right.
Hmm, hmm,
But it's so
hmm.
that's everything is homework. Anything else that you put in your effort into and you want to get better at it, that's where that practice makes progress come to play. Yeah, it still would be homework. It just would be done on your terms versus someone else's.
Right, right. On
Hmm.
somebody else's turns. I like that. Somebody else's turns. Hmm. Like watching on YouTube. Watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
Yes.
Matter of fact, that's what everybody look on now. They look on YouTube because it's like everything is on there now. You want to learn how to fix a car? You can actually load it up on YouTube. You want to learn how to braid hair, do hair? Load it on YouTube. Now, thinking about it, that comes to my next question. How do
Okay.
you think technology has changed the way, students learn better, worse, or just different?
Technology,
Uh oh.
I guess, in some eyes, can be a blessing and a curse. And since nowadays a lot of children that's coming out of school is in the technology era, I think
Mm-hmm.
it may be worse when it comes to them learning because to me it's like a crutch. It is enabling them to do the work the long way. It's stopping them or hindering them from actually putting in the process to think critically about things. Immediately, they are going to YouTube University or they're going to Google or Siri, things that can give them the answers versus actually taking the time to put down the process of how to complete this, how to solve this problem. Or if it was just me, putting yourself in their shoes to see what would I do in this instance. It's taking away the process to actually think for yourself on situations and how to solve problems. And with that being said, we need more, I guess, people coming out with solutions, problem solvers. But if we can't get problem solvers due to technologies already providing all the answers, then it is a problem for this era. So the older generation, my generation, older, we have all learned how to solve problems, how to answer questions, how to think for ourselves, how to take the time to put the steps to whatever is needed to be answered. But now you have everything on your phone. I don't think half of the children that are in the school system today have even seen the inside of a library. If they know what a thesaurus is or an encyclopedia is, how to use the card catalog inside of the library, how to just sit down and write down strategies on how to do things in a healthy way versus using their really good skills and God-given talents for bad.
Mhm.
So I do think this technology era, although can be very helpful, is hindering the learning process for this generation here. What do you think? You're not too far from that generation. I think you're still in it. So what do you think
Well,
about technology in the school system?
I think, well, yeah, most definitely. With the technology, I feel like it probably has got worse because in school, is looking up the answers since we got computers now, which is to, well, English to type in like essays and stuff. Okay, yeah, use the computer for that. But if you talking about math, instead of calculator, some people actually like look up the answer the math problem and get the answer like that. It's like it's so many ways to do it on technology, and it's kind of sad. And I'm not gonna lie, I did look up a little some here and there, but that's only because I didn't understand it. Now, if you actually talking about doing it every time, no. I actually wanted to learn how to do it. Sometimes you might be tired and be like, let me type this in. Oh, there got the answer. Boop. But no, I didn't want to do that though, because it's not using your brain power that God
Right,
gave you. You just cheating. So yeah, I think it
basically.
got a little bit worse because now everybody's just using the technology. Now everybody's just using things to I guess just look them up now. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I think it got worse a little bit. It was
Yeah.
okay at first, but then it's got a little bit worse. It's like, okay, you don't really need to look that up. Not really. I mean, you could use a book or go to this place to do it, such and such, such. But
I mean, it's fine if you need to look it up to do some research and figure out how to solve a problem or find maybe locations, geographic locations, or things of that nature. But if you're just using it all the time because you're lazy and don't want to think for yourself, but don't let somebody come by and say, "Oh, you just dumb. You do everything with the computer system or with Siri or YouTube." Then you
we'll
offended.
say,
Right. You are now in your feelings. But you're not using your mind. You're not using your own brain. You don't know how to use it because technology has already warped the situation. It's here
right,
to give you the answers. And so let's say you do pass the grade. Let's say you're in ninth grade, you don't pass to the 10th grade. But your entire ninth grade, the
mm-hmm,
technology has helped you get to 10th grade. So now you're in 10th
right,
grade and you're officially learning on the 8th grade level because you didn't learn anything in the ninth grade. So now technology has messed you up. You've allowed technology to mess you up. Technology is here, but it shouldn't stop you
right,
from using your brain. Okay? You're still in school again for 8 hours, some 9. The teacher is there to help show you this information. And now it's up to you to figure out how to keep retaining that information. And if you are clueless still, I would suggest you go back to the teacher, ask for some extra help, find you a tutor. Hey, ask your parents to find your tutor because they might need one too with the way this information is going out here. Should we all gonna need
right,
a tutor?
right.
So, but that's one thing, but just going to technology because it's there and you just don't want to use your mind, that's not a good reason to use it. You can use it as a resource, but not to get you to the next level of something without using your own brain cells. I mean, why are they there? You got enough sense to get to the technology. Why don't you have enough sense to use it when it's needed at that time, but not all the time? Oh, I tell you,
Right.
this is what it is.
Right, that's just how the word is, but that doesn't mean that we can't help change it, like change people's perspective on what needs to be changed and what needs to be done. So it's good that we're talking about this and go ahead and let the people know, how we feel and so anybody that's watching, y'all got a little bit, you know, ideas of what we're trying to tell y'all.
Yeah, we need more
So,
problem solvers, okay? Good
yep,
problem
problem
solvers.
solving. That's the word of the day. Problem solving.
Yeah,
Problem solving.
we need
That's
a
the
lot
word.
of those. I think if we can get a better way for the system to teach children more beneficial things that are needed in the world and maybe help zone in on what they're good at, that'll help
Mm-hmm.
pave the way for their future, which will then turn into them finding solutions to problems. Maybe even before they even graduate high school. You know, it happens all the time. It's just some of them go by the wayside and some just never hear about it until maybe years later. But I think that should be one of the things to be catering to instead of you holding children for what did we in school for 18 years? And then if you have the mindset, you go to college. And then if you want something else, you go back to college. And while
Right.
accumulating debt, you could have been using those skills and talents before you came out of high school, maybe even middle school, and finding ways to solve a bunch of problems. We need a lot of problem solvers right now. And we just need some
Yeah.
people to help them encourage the children or the teenagers on what their abilities are and tune into those, help encourage that, nurture that, and then put those resources into the school system instead of we just teaching these children all this type of stuff that most of the information, let's just be real, they will not learn or need when they get out of high school. My issue is once they graduate from high school, they just out here. They now working because
Yep.
they have to work. This is their way to eat and potentially provide them a household and thus far. But
Right.
most of them don't know themselves until maybe they hit their 30s, and now their perspective have changed. Now they know who they are and what they want. So now their goals have changed. So now they know what they need to go get. And by the time they hit their 40s, this is a new wave of, okay, this is it right now. I'm going for this. This is going to pave the way. We're here now. But my issue
Yeah.
is we should be encouraging it in the early years. It shouldn't take each generation another 10, 20, or 30 years before they reach that part in their life that either the school system or parents or whomever all the above could have been pinpointing or nurturing then. So when they come out of school, we already got new entrepreneurs. We got new problem solvers.
Right.
We have new doctors or anything like that, or new x-ray technicians, things of that nature that'll keep society moving forward and in a helpful way. So I think that's my issue with the school system now. I'm not down on them at all. I just think each person, each child comes with their own thing that they're here to do, and that's in them. We just need to find ways to put those type of resources in the system, the school system, that'll help pull those skills out of them. And they can start tapping to that now. And then shoot, before they get out of high school, they are either already making money in that area, they are already into different types of investments. They are already bringing in different things for their household, their family, the younger ones under them, and being more helpful to society. That's just what I think. We're not going to get into that, but it's just everybody brings something to the table, but not everyone knows what it is and how to reach it or achieve it. So
Right.
I just think it could be better. I mean, because we've been doing this for years. School systems have been doing the same thing repeatedly for years. And instead of teaching all this new math, which I call all this new rigmarole, that the parents and the students don't know how to do, all these unnecessary
Right.
steps, why don't y'all do something like that? We need to come up with a solution for that.
Yeah. You over here preaching to us right now. I don't have nothing to say. I'm speechless right now. Feel like you just took all the words in my mouth. Man, I'm gonna get you clap.
You a trip.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let me get took the words all the way out of my mouth. I can't even say anything. I'm just listening. I'm like, yes, she's hitting every single detail, every point, everything. Just everything. It's all over the place. I hope y'all listening. Okay, she just gave y'all everything. Everything.
That's just my opinion. I'm
I'm
not putting
speechless.
anything on anybody. That's just my outlook on things.
Yeah, it's just her opinion. Nobody, take offense or anything like that. It's just her opinion. Y'all like it, y'all like it. Y'all don't. We just telling the facts right now. That's all that's going on. True honesty, honest
Okay,
opinion. Matter of fact,
definitely.
but that comes to our stuff. Thank you so much, Miss Hardaway. You did amazing. I love everything. I love everything about you now. Everything,
Oh,
the
thank
whole
you.
personality, the whole honesty. You have a lot to say, and that's what we need in people. Like anybody that has a comment or opinion about something, speak out, reach out. That's all anybody needs. That's how change happens. People got to speak
Yes.
out, and if you do that, then yeah, the world's gonna be better. The world's gonna change. People will change. That's all it
Yeah,
takes.
I totally agree. Can I add one more thing?
Mhm.
So my business, which I am a co-owner of, is called funlearning.fun, and
Okay.
it is in the educational niche. So it's a
Okay.
educational resource that we are here to teach right now the basic information in different forms of ways. So we have the videos, we have the music side of things, we have worksheets that are interactive, and I think we're working on a few more things to add. So the website is still growing, we're still adding a lot of things, but we would love to collaborate with someone in the educational field that will help us get to where we're trying to go, because everything is all about the children. We want each child to not feel neglected and to have the free resource needed to help get them ahead. So right now, the platform is from pre-K to the 6th grade, and it will be
Okay.
going up to the high school to 12th grade. But right now, the platform is a work in progress. We're constantly adding and evolving the site. But these are just some of our goals. We want to be able to reach each child where they are and how they learn. So, and we also have a YouTube channel, Kids Learn Adventures 935 on YouTube. And it's so much more to come. And thank you, Naris, for having me. This was fun.
No
I enjoyed
problem.
myself. You are really silly and smart. I enjoyed this conversation. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No problem. No problem. Y'all heard what she said. We probably gonna put it somewhere around here. But y'all go ahead. Tap into that to the you said www.funlearning.com.
Not fun. Not
Dot fun.
Fun.
Okay, so
Yes,
make sure I get it right. All right, y'all stay in tune, stay in tune, stay in tune. But that comes
definitely.
to our podcast. Y'all know what we say: peace, love, and happiness. Now
Happiness.
he's out.
Beyond the classroom, we rise and soar.